this is going to be the second aspect that I'm going to be covering. I think it's important because this chorus that comes right after our intro that we talked about earlier is repeated a lot throughout the rest of the song. And we'll start at around measure 23 and we'll get right into it.
When I think of you sometime and I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us, we can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky, just the two of us. You and I. We look for.
And then it just goes ahead and it just goes and repeats all the way up to the B section. We've got everyone's favorite. We've got that little guitar anacrusis, everyone's favorite, coming into the chorus, which I think is actually really, really, really cool. We start with our 6-7 chord, which we've seen a lot throughout this piece so far. And we go to the 5-7. And then we go to our 1, which is very, very, very similar to the beginning of the B section, but we have a new chord, which from the 1 we go to a sharp 7 of 7, which I could have identified, I think, as a 6 of 2, but it didn't really seem to fit, which is why I went with this chord instead. Then we go to our 2-7 of 6, and then our 5-7 of 6. And back to our 6-7. What I like about this chord, especially, is the chromatic movement between the sharp 7 of 7 to the 2-7 of 6. We can actually hear that right here. Oops, not there. Right there. I think is super, super cool and interesting, and I think it's really neat how they can follow a certain chord progression and manage to get that chromaticism. It's really, really awesome. After that, yet again, 6 of 7, or 6-7, sorry, and then our 5-7, and then eventually we go back to our 1, which goes throughout the rest of this measure. We got some embellishments up here, and then it all repeats itself for 4 bars and then goes back to the beginning of the B section.